I'm Aspacia. This is my husband, Richard. We are proud owners of Penguin City Brewing Company. We are so excited to bring you along this fun adventure in exploring craft breweries.
Today, we're taking a look back at this season from the start of the show to meeting other breweries at one of the largest craft beer fests in Ohio and making new friends at a unique brewery in Columbia Station.
We are also providing an overview of many craft beer terms used throughout the conversation and highlighted throughout the episodes. We hope sharing these terms will help you navigate the craft beer industry and visiting your local craft brewery and making some new friends and strengthening your communities. I am so excited about today's special show. Let's get started.
There are select ingredients and steps in the craft brewing process. There are select ingredients and steps this show will take to make you a craft brewery ambassador.
The ingredients in this show are the people who craft the brew, the local businesses they support, some did you know in the craft brewing industry, and the crafting of your taste.
The phrase on tap in the industry means ready to be poured. On tap also means to be ready.
Let's get on tap and learn how craft brewing is more than just beer.
Craft breweries,
Local businesses.
your communities, on tap.
You're watching
More than just beer.
We're back, and we wanted to talk about this amazing season we had filming the More Than Just Beer show. And I would say, right off the bat was the first episode.
I mean, I know we are both a little stiff, not used to being the interviewer, much more used to being the interviewees with local press and everything. So reading scripts and everything and doing that is a little different for us. I don't know. The more we do it, the more I realize I'm bringing myself into it, and I feel a lot more comfortable. And
I thought it was great having it here at our spot. And I loved having Justin Heminger, the deputy director for the Ohio Craft Brewers Association, who came to talk a little bit about what, the Ohio craft brewing industry is about and what, they're trying to do to help promote all the local craft beer in our area and all in Ohio.
We do an economic impact study every 2 years, and in 2022, Ohio's craft breweries were responsible for more than $1.2 billion of economic impact. Wow. It was the first time we've been able to say that this is $1 billion industry.
That's amazing.
And it's $1 billion.
Right, and we had Hannah Ferguson, our neighbor from Dope.
Who's dope?
She's very dope, and her cider and wine also very dope, delicious stuff. It's always nice hanging out with her right next door. And
she's a celebrity. She's the first female Black brewer in the state of Ohio, which is pretty amazing that we have her right next door in our place. Dope Cider House and Winery is so amazing.
Thank you.
So where did that name come from?
When I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and do a business, I was like, it has to be dope. And then I was like, wait, that's going to be the business name, dope. And then so I reached out, I called my brother. I was like, hey, I'm starting a business. It's going to be called Dope, but it has to be an acronym. I need help. And he literally called me back like 5 minutes later and was like, dwelling on positive energy. So
and then we had a visitor, our mayor.
Oh yeah.
Who came to visit.
Yeah. That was really cool of him. Come hang out with us and
Mayor Tito Brown.
That's right.
Golden Ale. What I wanted to accomplish with this beer is to create something that's not too pretty. Oh, hey, Mr. Mayor.
How you doing, sir?
Well, I'm fine. How about yourself?
Good.
All right, well, yeah, this is a pleasant surprise.
I heard you over there talking about the Golden Ale, and
can I get you one?
I definitely take one.
All right, here you go.
Thank you.
So let's see what we think.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
I was a little nervous, but I loved it. It was fun getting to meet and talk a little bit more with Justin. Yeah. And then just with Hannah, just love sitting and talking with her, learning about like what Because sometimes, you know, you don't really get to know those little backstories. So I love like learning
yeah.
a little bit about that with her.
It's good. Tell me about the beers you brought today.
Yeah. So we've got a West Coast Pilsner. It was originally a collab with Breakside Brewing Company
Okay.
out in Portland, Oregon. They're one of our favorite breweries. We did a collab with them out at Hop Selection last year. We brewed it there. And then we took the recipe and we brewed it at Masthead for our anniversary. It has a big West Coast hop flavor. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get a lot of hop flavor,
Yeah.
but you also get the dry, crisp, like sort of quenchability of a Pilsner.
We don't have TVs. We have a focus on conversation, community, right? These kinds of things. So that's kind of the bookhouse picture.
What beers did you bring today?
So today, on this first day of Winter Warmer, we've got our Eau de Flamse Krieken beer. It's the very last of this beer. It's a special barrel-aged beer with a variety of yeast and bacteria that gives it some acidity. We have local cherries that it macerated on from Quarry Hill Orchards in Berlin Heights, and that's contributing a good bit of that kind of cherry and pie character.
Where did you get your name from? I love names and backstories.
My partner's wife was like, well, what about those like ghost trees coming out of the quarries in Amherst, Ohio? And I was like, oh yeah, because there's these huge trees that have no leaves or anything that's, you know, coming out of 50 feet of water and they're still standing and they're beautiful. And I was like, I can market that name for sure.
Oh,
And so yeah, super cool. And they're beautiful.
Craft brewing for us is family. I talked about it before. Our brewery in Avon is owned by family. It's myself, my brother-in-law, my father-in-law. And we opened it up because we are a family who got together to brew beer and eat food. My brother's a chef, I'm a brewer. And so our hashtag is welcome to the family. That's our motto. And people come to our restaurant, our brewery, they come for the beer, stay for the food, maybe come for the food and stay for the beer. And we always say to the tables, have you been here before? Welcome to the family. And that's what craft beer is.
Craft beer is really about community. I think when you walk around the room and you talk to the brewers here, they're just really genuine people. They're very passionate about what they do. And that translates to giving back to their communities. And I think that's, you know, we're a great economic generator, and that's good for the neighborhoods and the communities that our breweries are in.
That's
So,
funny.
like your slogans, a passion for life is our business. Where did that come from? Like, what's
Because we've always like been into like getting the most out of life, meeting new people, doing good in the community, traveling, like
Yeah.
life in general. And it all came full circle. Like I said, we didn't really want to open a brewery until like I think that passion actually is what drove us to end up partnering with Sherry and Eric. So I mean, you can do so much for the community, as you guys know, with a brewery, and quite honestly, that's the main reason we did it. So that's pretty much where it came from.
that's awesome.
My husband Eric and I are the owners. We took over about 15 years ago when his parents retired. So they started the farm about 60 years ago. They wanted to retire because they were in their 80s. So they farmed for a long time. And then Eric and I took over.
What brought the brewing part into this?
Farming's really hard. Farming's really, really difficult to make money. We needed to find another source of kind of generating some more income. And then, so it's really kind of been his idea. And then we met Ann and Kelly through a mutual friend and thought, wow, a brewery would fit well. We did not envision it turning out like this. So we're super happy that the way it kind of all came together, and it looks like it's always been here. So
It does. It does feel
Yeah.
like it's like a part of it.
yeah, it's gone really well together, the two businesses. So it's been good.
A little bit about it.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here. I'm originally a Youngstown boy, and my brewing career has taken me from Youngstown to Cleveland, all the way to Lorain, Ohio, where I ended up starting the first brewery in over 100 years in Lorain, and it's been awesome.
I feel like we're just gonna read them and we'll talk about it, and we might even be wrong about certain things, but we're gonna have fun. Tanks. What are some of our tanks that we deal with in brewing?
Well, I would say when it comes to tanks, the first thing a beginner would want to know when they walk into a brewery, they're going to want to know what the fermentation tanks are. They're going to want to know what some of the conditioning tanks are. And there's a lot of other little things that could also happen in between that might be used, say, for certain steps of the brewing process that we can get into later. But for the most part, when it comes to brewing, you're looking at fermenters and you're looking at holding vessels like bright tanks and conditioning tanks. Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's pick a word here.
Quiz me.
Okay. Well, here's fun. I'll give you.
Okay.
We were talking about. We almost brewed one of these. Wee heavy type of what kind of
wee heavy? So a wee heavy typically refers to a Scottish style of beer. Scottish styles are one of my favorite styles. They come with a rich, diverse history, all of their own. Typically in a Scottish beer, a wee heavy in particular, it's going to be a fuller bodied beer, slightly higher to mid ABV, a lot of malty toffee notes, caramel notes, brown sugar notes, with not too assertive of a hoppiness. It's somewhere Scotland is pretty, I would say, not the warmest of places. So it's it's more of a robust style, and it's kind of reflective of again that environment and the people.
Good to know. I feel like you're doing really well in this.
We're clearly experts, and we're educating people right now, and they're walking away with a lot of information.
Experts are saying, yes, I think this, sure. I see hops on here. We can get into what hops are, but more importantly, I think something people have been saying so often is that this is really hoppy, meaning that it's bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter is bitter.
Yeah.
Hops, it will make a beer bitter.
Yes, but not all hops or hoppy beers are bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently now, I'd say because of the introduction of the hazies, New England juices, a lot of times the hops are introduced later on in the brewing process, which gives you a lot more aroma and flavor. So right now, if you were to say this is a really hoppy beer, you're thinking about like those nice aromas. And
Yeah,
flavors.
more often than not, you're drinking something that's very fruity, very tropical, very citrusy. I think in the earlier days of when craft brewing was really starting to take its hold to where it is now, you were talking more about more West Coast style IPAs, which were literally, let's just cram as much hops in there as possible, and you can barely, feel your mouth afterwards.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. And when they weren't that prevalent, it was fun. But now that it's so nuanced, you kind of like, it's nice to taste that, but it's also good to branch out.
Yeah.
Maybe like 10, 15 years ago, when somebody said craft beer and that person wasn't familiar with craft beer, they're like, I don't like craft beers. I don't like IPAs. They thought that's what craft beer was.
Right.
So what's an IPA?
Well, by definition, I think an IPA, which stands for India Pale Ale, the common folklore behind it is when the British troops were colonizing India, they were having their beer shipped over to them from Great Britain, and it was not surviving the journey very well. So they ended up having to really, really add in a ton more hops because they had a preservative effect. The ABV of the beer also had to be raised up slightly. Mm-hmm. And so these British troops became so familiar with this flavor and this profile that it caught on when they came back to Great Britain, and the style kind of also became popularized in the US as well. Sort of the same way that American style lagers were popularized after World War II. It was kind of that same pattern.
So I see it looks like Golden Ale has come up somewhere in the show. That's our flagship here. It's a Golden Ale.
Yeah.
Which is another term for that is Blonde Ale. I just prefer Golden Ale.
Sure. Yeah. Everything's.
So I would describe that as just a very approachable, medium to full bodied, light colored beer. Not quite straw colored where your light should be, but maybe purple golden color.
Yeah,
yellow to golden. So let's cover, you might hear the term gateway beer. For us, it's our original Penguin City beer, which is the golden ale that we talked about. It's something where it's not, it won't put you off if you're not used to things that are very hoppy, or, you get a banana clove out of a Hefeweizen that you're not used to. So it's something that's very approachable, but it's a little more, it's crafted locally. How is it for you?
No one should be too embarrassed about coming in and trying a new beer. We have a lot of people that come in and say, "Oh, I'm not a connoisseur. I'm not normally a beer drinker." That's okay. What do you normally drink? Whether it's a wine, whether it's a bourbon, tell me what you like, and we can help steer you in the direction of something you might like. I always tell people, don't be afraid of a dark beer. Not all dark beers are bitter. Just give it a try. You're not going to hurt, you're not going to lose anything for trying.
I feel like this show is the gateway into Ohio's craft brewing industry. If you pass a brewery and you're kind of like, I don't know if I should go in. I don't know what this is about, or I don't really understand much of craft beer, this show kind of will help you ease you into that. where you can learn about beer, meet these amazing people, and learn just about what our industry is about.
Yeah, and I also think I would like people to understand how cool it is to be able to go to a place, drink a beer that was brewed just a few feet away from where you're drinking it. It's going to be really fresh, and to understand all the thought and hard work that actually goes into brewing a beer. You know, it's a glamorous job, but it's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of work that goes into brewing that beer.
I love learning. I think we should always be learning. So the fact that I can use this and go to other breweries and just meet them and know what they're doing and connect with them, it just makes what we do just feel like I'm really proud to do this. I'm really proud to be in this industry when I actually meet other people working just as hard as us. So this was a season wrap up with Craft Beer Education. We'd like to thank Chris Kambouris from Bascule Brewery in Lorain, Ohio for helping us walk through the terms we use throughout the season and in the industry.
We also had a look back to the season, connecting with the Ohio Craft Brewers Association, meeting brewers at the Winter Warmers Eve Fest, sitting with fellow brewers, making new friends, and strengthening the community.
We thank you again for watching More Than Just Beer.
Remember to enjoy responsibly. Thank you for watching
More Than Just Beer. This is a production of the Socially Good TV Network.